Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your November forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. I hope everybody's doing great. My dog Apollo is taking a nap right behind us, holding some space. I promise we'll keep an eye on him as we go through the reading, but we have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Again, this is for November 2024. You can use it for sun, rising, and moon. And I begin everything with channeled messages, and this comes through in the morning as I set some time and space to receive intuition and guidance for you. And it starts off with dreams first. So the first thing that I picked up on as I tuned into your sign was this river of energy. And the energy, as it started to reveal itself to me, I saw all of these little coins and gems, and it basically represented abundance. There came a point in this sort of energy flow or resource flow where there was kind of like a dam or a block. It was not a permanent one. It was kind of just, to me, it felt like it could be mental or environmental. So a mental block would be something like, I can't do this, or I'm not going to, and therefore you kind of don't reach out and explore. That's the easiest to overcome usually. Environmental could be more of like a glass ceiling put on you at work, where you're doing everything you should, but because of management or policies, you're not getting the recognition you deserve. So we'll keep an eye out for both of those. The good news is I did eventually see the sort of river breaking through that block. And when I look at things like whenever we're looking at resources, it can be time, energy, money, even opportunity. So it's a very broad umbrella. We're trying to get you unblocked and get you to the breakthrough point. So I'm going to especially look for that as we look at the tarot cards here in just a few moments. The second thing that I picked up on was an acquaintance, and it was a positive meeting. To me, this could be mentorship, friendship, or an alliance. To me, they were holding a key, so it could just be someone that is there to help you connect with something else. They could be a gatekeeper like we would see with the Hierophant. It could also just be someone that has the answer. It's been or is the answer to maybe a prayer or intention. It felt very good. I'll keep an eye out for new acquaintances, of course, as we're looking at this as well. And the final thing that I was shown was a wand, which connects me to, of course, Ace of Wands and the Magician itself. And this tells me that any challenge that's in front of you, especially this resource crunch or resource block, you can overcome it. What we need to look at is how, where, and why. So I'll keep an eye out for that as well. Basically, we have a lot to look at. So I'm going to shuffle the cards here. And before I do that, just a quick note. I've been sick for the better part of a week, and my voice is still recovering. So if you hear anything that sounds different, that's what it is. This is the first day I've been well enough to get back to it. And luckily, your sign is next on the list. So now let's begin. And again, thanks for your patience. Let's take a few moments now to clear our mind and set intentions before beginning. I'd like you to imagine that it is a bright and beautiful morning and you're standing on the beach. And as the sun starts to rise up from the horizon, you feel like these rays of light are starting to reach out and connect with each of the energy points in your body, all 7 chakras. And the rays of light also wrap around you, creating this cocoon of energy and protection. If there are any fears, anxieties, or other thoughts, allow them to melt into the light and feel safe and ready to receive. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, and also just allow yourself to connect to your own common sense and higher intelligence as well. And I should say higher self, but all of that is important for this. All right, with that being said, open your eyes and let's get started. Let's see what's coming through. Definitely see the recalibrating energy even before we get into any of the extended stuff, the extended forecast. We have a Tower, we have Judgment, we have 10 of Swords, but we also have beautiful things like the 4 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Now I'm seeing the wand there. Okay, there's some good stuff, but there's some clearing for sure, and I'm here to help you with all of it. Let's continue to pull all the cards and then we'll get started here. So much transitional energy here. And it's really fun as a reader to have some of these major touch points here. So I feel like I can really help you navigate. Let's begin with the catalyst. So we have here the gardener, and the gardener card is reversed. For any of you that enjoy gardening, you understand that it requires attention, patience, perseverance. And a lot of times if we look at something beautiful like a rose, they're high maintenance plants. A lot of times they get things like aphids and other types of fungal infections. And so you have to basically really tend to them and, of course, prune them and all of that and fertilize them. So this is a time for you to do the same for yourself. So this could mean that when it comes to your health, for instance, that you're making sure that you're taking care, you're tending to that part of your life. When it comes to your intellect, that you're doing things that stimulate, that empower, that enhance what you already have. And when it comes to all of the other things in your life, that you're not letting them kind of like take away your energy to the thing that matters most. An Ace of Pentacles is like a seed and it requires time and energy. So whether you're putting it inward or into something tangible like that, don't give up, okay? And impatience can be the one thing that takes you out of the flow of production, productivity, and starting to see something fruitful, okay? So there we go with the gardener. But many of you are building or creating something beautiful. Give it time to grow. That's the main thing that I get with that as well. All right, I already kind of did a quick scan, so let's just get started with your centermost card. You received 10 of Wands. The card is reversed, but it is such a beautiful card, so I want to talk about this. First of all, we can see that it's growing out of an experience from the past. This is interesting because your crowning card is, of course, the Tower. And some of you may be leaning on past experience, thinking, if I did it before, I can do it again. Absolutely. That is exactly what you should be focusing on. This is also just saying that whatever needs to leave your life, it's not the end all be all. This is just the tip of the iceberg of possibility. And I want to show you a couple of other 10 of Wands cards to contextualize it. In Rider-Waite-Smith, we get the energy of feeling the burden of completion, because when we complete a task, we have to figure out like what's next. The burden of success, carrying the expectations of others, all of that is comprised in this. You are succeeding. That is basically what the 10 of Wands represents. You don't have to carry the burden alone. In fact, I just want to show you like all the different ways you can look at it. In the Lightseer's deck here, we see that she's learned to delegate. And I would say in this moment, this is a perfect thing to do. Learn to delegate and leverage the experiences of the past and rise up like the phoenix from the ashes. So don't also put too much pressure on yourself or allow others to put that pressure on you either. Okay, those are the main takeaways from that. But at the end of the day, this is a card of being able to kind of let something go and move on to the next big thing. I mentioned I saw a wand. We got it here, Ace of Wands. It could be the Magician or it could be an ace. So the Ace of Wands comes through as a new possibility. I love that there's a paintbrush on this. This is saying capture it. So in the morning, whether I'm meditating or just waking up from dreams, I write down what I got from that so I don't lose it. And I can do it when I push record here. And for those of you that wonder, like, how does your dream connect to this? I set an intention to receive, before I go to sleep. I'm like, I'm reading for this sign. Let me know what's coming through. I only do that on days that I'm reading, but for you, that's kind of what I do. And then I have to record it, either a voice memo or scribble it. So as you start to receive things from Spirit, do the same. If you've ever listened to interviews with different musicians, Taylor Swift does it, the lead singer of Coldplay, I was trying to remember the other one here, it'll come to me, Kelly Clarkson. A lot of singers use voice notes because it's a quick way to just get it into a form that you can use later. So have some fun too. Writing, singing, dancing, painting, any sort of expressive art is going to connect you more to source. This could also be someone putting a proposal in front of you, an idea, not necessarily finished, but a kernel of an idea. You may also be pitching a concept to someone else. Demonstrate it, use a prototype, show pictures. There are different ways to communicate than just words, and Wands shows how rather than telling how. And also just realize you might be the one that's going to take that wand like the magician and bring the idea through to the finish line. All right? Let's look at the deep past. This also represents some of the stagnation here for you. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Some of you feel stuck, obligated to do something, but you've long since either accomplished what you set out to do or maybe even kind of like learned everything that you can. So whether it is a volunteer thing or it's a job or it's something that you're doing for someone else, it's kind of like there is this itch to explore, wanderlust, this feeling like there's got to be something more. And I actually get behind that this month for you. And that's why the center cards are saying, let it go, explore the opportunities, and then get your hands on the wheel of your life and swing it around a little bit and make a turn. So whether we get the Chariot or the Wheel of Fortune, they both need to move. And that's what this is. It's maybe some of you have also been sitting with an idea for a little bit, and now is the time to basically take action. This Wheel of Fortune also shows a spider-like deity on it and a spider web. And it reminds you that you reap what you sow. And that's important because we have the scythe from the Reaper here coming through as your destiny card. So you are now at the point where you can reap the rewards of the hard work. And that's why I sometimes look at the death card as that. It can be the best news ever, but it changes everything. A wedding proposal, a job offer, a chance encounter that opens up a new door. Oftentimes, something has to leave and something has to enter. And I feel like you're at that precipice this month, if you're ready, if you're open to it, okay? One last thing, because we have a spider energy with this, spiders every day will do a reset. They go on their web, and if there's something stuck, they take it away, and then they rebuild the portion that's missing. They'll even redo the whole thing if they have to. So don't be afraid to hit the reset button each day and view it as a brand new start, untethered and unbothered by what came before it, informed by it, but not weighed down by it. So that's what we see here is growing upward from a past experience. Everything has brought you to this moment. Don't beat yourself up thinking, if I only would have done this. It's all cosmically planned. You're exactly where you need to be. One thing that's weighing heavily on you, so we have two cards that are showing pressure. That's why they're reversed. Ten of Cups is usually favorable. It can be love, partnership, family, a lot of people around you, but sometimes all of these things bring trappings and pressure. So peer pressure and familial pressure in particular are coming through. And this could be pressure to meet up to the expectations. So even when you're an adult, sometimes your parents are still vicariously trying to experience life through you. And so they'll give you pressure on things like, when are you going to get a better job? When are you going to meet someone? When are you going to move into a real place? Or they're like it's judgment on some levels, and that is another card that we have here today is judgment. Don't let their judgment or projection of their own sort of things that they're trying to overcome get in your headspace, okay? You live your life for yourself. Yes, you also, your joys and experiences can ripple into your friends and family, but if you're unhappy but successful, it doesn't match up. You have to be happy. That actually is success. Joy and the time to enjoy things in your life. These are parts of what I would consider success, not just achievement, not just money, not just popularity. Success is something you can define. And it feels like the people around you may be putting well-intentioned pressure on you, but it's okay. You don't have to sort of like fix all of the mistakes in their life by doing something different in yours. And also this is saying de-emphasize the need to, if you're not partnered, don't put so much pressure on if you're with the partner or not. If you're partnered or if you're in a big family, this is kind of about finding your individual sort of energy. And you're part of that, but you're also your own self as well. So individualism is coming up this month, finding your voice, finding your vision. That's going to help you take this Ace of Wands to the next level, because only you can really decide how and what you want to do with your life. So this is a chance to really embrace that independence. The crowning card, I'm not afraid of the Tower, and I just like to see where it's at. You're changing your mind. If it's in the crowning position, it's about your worldview at the moment. And for some of you, you're starting to open up and dismantle things that, open up to possibilities and dismantle the blocks. And we want to dismantle the blocks. So for some of you, there's some people that need to exit. There's some things or some activities that need to exit. And we're going to look at the next card to kind of embrace that. This can represent some of the biggest changes. New love or leaving a relationship, moving in, moving out, moving up, movement of some sort. Near future helps us understand what's going on. So we're leaving the energy of fear and stress behind, and you're accepting the call. You're answering the call here. Let's start off with the underlying challenging energy in the near future. In the Nine of Swords, if it were upright, we just see someone rising above, familial stress, work stress, all the things that we all have to deal with from day to day. And this person's saying, I see it, I see what I can do, I see what I can't do, and I'm not going to let it get into my head. You may be lacking rest and recalibration. Nine of Swords comes through when we are not getting enough sleep, when we are burning the candle at both ends, and maybe even in the middle. It's like something has to give. Take care of yourself so we see it here as an opportunity. We're going to try to avoid it. So we don't want you to go into Ten of Swords. That can be basically burnout, or, instead of breakthrough, breakdown. We don't want that. We want to focus on breakthrough. We're going to release stress, and we're going to decide to do it differently. And there is a very decisive energy and judgment. Literally, this is following your own best judgment. And I'm going to pull the traditional card in a second, but this is also rising up from any perceived failure, loss, or challenge, and now kind of facing it with a newfound strength. Just for comparison, I did want to bring the Judgment card here, because what I feel like this really does a great job of showing is reinvention, rebirth, and rebounding. This is a chance to really rise up. And again, answering that call, the inner call. Your true north might be over here, not here. So this is a chance to do all of that. And this is it's not the end, it's the beginning. Even though we have a few cards showing changing and shifting, that's what I expect at a sort of liminal point. So yes, Destiny is saying reap the rewards. This is a rebirth card. This is a change card. And these are changing your direction here, especially the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Let's go to you. This month, you're represented by the Eight of Pentacles. Here we see someone getting lost in the minutia, kind of paying too much attention to all the fine print and not getting the bigger sort of picture. And that's easy to do when you lose yourself in the task. And basically, Eight of Pentacles is a great card for things like education, even just sort of like observation and learning. You're kind of like a sponge in this moment. You can really soak a lot up. So that's the part that I like. The part that can kind of get in the way is not taking a break to get feedback, to get perspective, and to take care of yourself. Sometimes we just get engrossed in the task at hand. And so if that's your biggest concern, is that maybe you're going to be too thrown into the details, I feel like you can overcome that. What we see here, though, is a little bit of frustration at perhaps having to repeat. So there might be an opportunity here to find a better, more efficient way. And that gets back into the energy of the creating better flow. And we see that, again, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, you can just be busy for the sake of being busy. For some of you, this is due, again, to poor management if it's a job. For you, it might just be overextending yourself. So again, maybe there is a little bit of time management there. And sometimes just not exploring the options. So I think there's a more efficient way, and by definition, maybe a better way than what you're doing right now. This can be the research to find the better way as well. So all of that hopefully can help you connect to working smarter, not harder. That's the takeaway there. If you do want to go to school right now or learn something new, we are getting confirmation that that could open you up to possibilities. We have 4 of Cups here. Speaking of possibilities, it may be a little more subtle than you think. So in this particular card, we see the 3 cups in the front, but in the back is the floating card. And there's always a hidden opportunity or blessing with 4 of Cups. She's a lot more optimistic than the traditional 4 of Cups. Usually the guy's like this, focusing in front of him and missing something. So I have a few pieces of advice on how to avoid missing a blessing or missing an opportunity. 1, don't compare yourself to everybody else. Some of you might be doing that comparison because of the pressure that family is putting on you. Some of you may simply be you're having a difficult time right now accepting that something's come to a close. And it may be out of your control, by the way. The Tower in the crowning position could represent an organizational change. This could lead to things like, in a business, a layoff. Or for some of you, you may be having to look for a new house because your apartment building got sold or something like that. A decision that was out of your hands is now requiring you to look around and to ease into the energy of change. There's something better waiting. There's something awesome just around the corner, but it requires you to change your perspective and to look around. Don't compare yourself to others, and don't look too much into the past. This is a chance to look at right here, right now, and to look into the future and say, how can I get from here to here? Not beating yourself up that it took so long to get to this moment, but using your skills, your experiences to be even more efficient in the days and weeks to come. Let's move on to what I think might be the most substantial challenge this month. I mentioned in the flow of opportunity, there was a block. Here's your block. It's the 10 of Swords. Some of you may simply be afraid of failure or success. And this is the pressure that you put on yourself and this feeling like if you succeed, you won't be able to take it to the next level. Or if you fail, it's the end. Neither of those is true because we see here in the outcome a favorable card here, the 4 of Wands. Someone has your back or someone is going to open a door. And this is just the straw that kind of doesn't break your back, but it gets you to the point where you're like, I need to move on. So before you get to the breaking point, here's what you can do. You can recognize the signs and symbols. What are those signs and symbols, Nicholas? You might be asking me. One of them could just simply be that there are rumblings of change. We see lightning and thunder. Before something happens, you're going to get a warning call or some sort of sign. Heed that call. Some of you are just tired of feeling stressed out and trying to fix everyone else's problems. Use that as an opportunity to find a place where you can flourish and you don't have to be, sort of like the everything. You don't have to be the Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It for all this stuff. I also think that just taking breaks and soliciting feedback can also help with that. So you don't have to do everything. You don't have to work so hard, and you don't have to fear success or failure. This also represents things in your body that could simply be what you need to pay attention to at this moment. So it can represent sickness, pain, or frustration. And I'm actually being shown in my mind's eye kind of like fire ants. So to me, this is agitation that can also lead to like losing your temper. So if any of these things are happening, take a break. That's the first thing. Take a break, take a holiday, take care of yourself, talk to someone, and take a look at the landscape. Because when you do that, we get to the outcome card, which is beautiful, 4 of Wands. Love, friendship, partnership, and something better. This is a month to upgrade, and you may be able to do it where you're at, or you may have to take a little bit of a journey and explore. And that's what we kind of get in this particular judgment card versus the traditional one here. So let's expand. We'll get into that. We'll look more at the Ten of Swords as we go into health, wealth, love, and destiny, because it has a different meaning in all of those categories. So without any further delay, let's expand this. The first part of the expanded forecast is going to be health. This is your mind, body, and spirit. We have another card associated with gardening here. It says garden, and then we have the heart here. And this harkens back to the catalyst card, which was the gardener. And this is a moment to take care of yourself. So what I'm seeing here is possibly not putting yourself on the back burner and allowing yourself to speak up. If you need something, let your partner, let your family, let your friends know that this is important to you. Advocating for yourself. This is almost like Queen of Pentacles, right? Nurturing and loving yourself. And then you'll have more to give for the other person. I think some of you are very good at helping everyone else around you. This is a moment to invest within. And for some of you, this could be education, or this could just be working on a part of your life that needs attention. We're looking at health. So maybe you're prioritizing, eating better, exercising better, or dealing with something that's been kind of vexing you health-wise for a while, and asking for support from your family. And guess what? We got this beautiful card in the outcome here, the Four of Wands. So we have familial energy here and friend energy here. We also have potentially a new partner coming in, and the way to get yourself ready for that, and this partner could be either love or professional, but whatever this is coming through, it's hinging on cleaning up this, avoiding this, and allowing yourself to kind of get into that energy of rebirth, renewal, and all this good stuff here with the Judgment card. Okay? So we'll look more at that when we go into relationships, but relationships is bleeding into health, and it makes sense because our core relationships either help us or hinder us. So make sure that the people that you're surrounding yourself with and spending time with are of the best possible caliber and aren't holding you back, okay? Holding you back from being healthier and happier. Now let's look at all of these cards through the lens of health. Standard disclaimer applies on this. I am not a doctor, but what I'm looking at is how energy can affect the way that you think and the way that you feel. If you're going through any physical issue, obviously work with your doctor. Okay, I want to start with the Tower. For some of you, this can be basically a call to clean things up. This can be cleaning up your environment, cleaning up your finances, and just getting organized, because it's coming through in your attention. Some of you may actually have ADHD, but the rest of you may just be sort of pulled in so many directions or focusing on so many things at once that it's kind of mimicking that, which is, I can't concentrate because there's all these things going on. And that is why we have the stress card here, the Nine of Swords. And that's why then sometimes it goes to this energy of burning out. So we're going to get organized, create an agenda, create a budget, and clear out stuff in your life that you don't need. It can be also things in your apartment or house where it's just blocking your ability to focus. It can be people in your life that are doing the same, because it can be a combination. So whatever mess or chaos there might be, you are the calm in the storm. You are the person that comes through and cleans it out, okay? And clears it out. And that's what this is. Literally, we see a clearing here. A decision, that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to focus on this instead. You're focusing on reimagining, reinventing, and recalibrating. It's important to get enough sleep. You have to know your limits when it comes to work and any sort of engagements or kind of contracts, and say no a little bit more. When I'm looking at the Ten of Wands, there is a general reminder here not to succumb to pressure, especially if it doesn't feel right. Also, if you are doing any sort of heavy lifting, don't ideally, but if you have to, put proper support gear on. And I would say if you're moving or something like that, hire a team or get friends and family to help. We can't all pay for people to do that, but you can at least get some support. Because if you try to do it all on your own, it creates chaos. So you really need to partner up this month for success. Ask for help. It's the hardest thing sometimes, but it's the most important thing. Getting out into nature, we have a lot of cards around gardens and gardening. You don't have to actually do it yourself. There may be a public garden or park, or even just a green space around you. And if it's winter time where you're at or the weather is not supportive, bring some plants into your environment as well. Okay, what else? We see a move here or a change. This can represent the dust settling because it feels like it does go into a good space here. So this is the act of being in between one place and another. Then we see it being good, even if it's a little stressful. You're going to land on your feet. There are people there to support you, and you have the experience, or you're about to get the experience, okay? Look for the blessing in the current change, and if there is anything going on with chronic pain or fatigue, this is priority number one. You have to take care of the Ten of Swords. You have to take care of yourself. Partnership is for some of you, like when we're looking at friendship, mentorship, and a new person coming in, it looks very, very good. But there is some challenges existing right now with your neighbors, your family, or your peers that needs to be balanced out as well. Okay? I think it's pretty manageable overall. Let's move on to the next category, which is wealth. And we have a wonderful card here, growth. And basically we see what I was talking about here, kind of like that Queen of Pentacles energy, or in this card, it's like the Empress. And it's a chance for you to, she has her hand on her heart space, love herself, focus on what her thoughts and energy are inspiring her to do, and then birth or create something new. So interestingly enough, you did get an educational or developmental card representing self this month. So continue to do the work. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Do work with others. Do lean into change, and this is going to help you. You are meant to change and grow in this moment, and that's a great way to get into this part of the forecast. So we're going to take a look at those who have a job, including entrepreneurs. Then we'll move on to those that are seeking employment, and then students and retirees. All right, beginning with those who have a traditional job, 9 to 5 or otherwise, let's see what's going on. This is pretty clear in a job. This can be restructuring, reorganization, new boss, new project, new opportunity. Typically the tower, as you would kind of expect, can be a little bit discombobulating. You have to wrap your head around it because we like change. We're creatures of change as humans, but this month, in order to get into this creative growth energy, you have to let go of something. And so what worked before may not work any longer. Here's the good news, folks. Many of you already know what you need to do. So we have the beautiful Ace of Wands here, crossing all of these, connecting to this rebirth energy. And the main thing here is you might just need to have a conversation and say, I have an idea. So this is a great time for those of you that are currently working to speak up. And even say, I think it's time to explore this. This may not be allowing us to do everything we want to do. So you could be the agent of change. You could present an idea that is what? Groundbreaking. And this could take you, your company, people around you into a positive trajectory, and it has good results. So if you are a mover, a shaker, a creative person, or just someone that knows what's wrong, be the voice of reason. Find the right time, of course, but if you can do that, this could put you in a really good trajectory. Okay. For everybody else, there could just be a lack of organization, poor management, poor working environment where there's a lot of stress and you can't get it all done. So in this situation, use your judgment, better judgment, and say, I can do this much, but I can't do this. How are we going to fix this? Or present them an option. Say, I think we should have such and such work on this. I'll tackle this. What do you think? You're going to have to show your decision-making abilities, and you're going to kind of be the angel here, rising up above it and helping people see the calm in the chaos. And again, it kind of sets you up for leadership in the long run if you want to. That's why this is an Empress sort of energy here. So if you can remain calm, even though all of these other things are going on, it's a very, very good thing. I do see partnership and support in the outcome, so that's good. Don't work yourself to this sort of extreme here. There may be an efficiency or a better way to do it. Again, if you can be the one that highlights this, that sets you apart. I think this is a fantastic time to get additional training, and it can be just taking a 1-hour training class or going for a seminar or going back to school. All of these constitute Eight of Pentacles. You could also be documenting a method or an approach or an idea and presenting it later because this is a presentation. and your creativity and innovation are setting you apart here. Some of you may be in a company that is restructured. There could be layoffs. And if you are caught up in that, stick around. We'll take a look at those that are job seeking. Know this, you didn't do anything wrong here. Sometimes when there's just are too many people and there's two companies that come together, or there's been financial challenges, which this can represent, that's what companies do. But what I see here is a strong person that through networks, through your sort of web of contacts, you should be able to land on your feet if that happens, but it's not fun going through it. So I do want to normalize that. Don't beat yourself up. This has to do with poor management and poor financials in some companies. In that situation, if it hasn't come to the point where they're kind of going to layoffs, I feel like there's a solution here. You could be part of the people that are trying to kind of like pull it together. This could just be a stressful month too. There doesn't have to be anything like doom and gloom. What we could see here is just disorganization, overworking, and you're like, there's a better way. So that's the cleanest and easiest and highest interpretation of what I see here. All right, for those of you that are entrepreneurs, I really think it's time to hire someone new if your budget allows. And if you are not seeing growth in a certain product or sector, it's time to try something else. So this is a month to innovate, and I'm also getting sort of differentiate. What is it about you, your company, your services, that sets you apart from everyone else? And lean into that. Marketing is going to be really, really important. We don't have a lot of swords here in the way that we would like to see them. We have 9 of swords and 10 of swords, but I want to see like the queen or the ace or something positive in that trajectory. So I feel like this is a marketing opportunity for some of you as well. Power in numbers, working smarter, not harder, and restructuring as well. This is a chance to get organized and to cut some things out. I think you can do, you will do better if you are more streamlined in this moment in time. Okay? Now let's take a look at those that are job seeking. The 10 of Swords is sometimes the dialogue in our mind when we're not finding work fast enough. The 9 of Swords is the stress, like, will it ever happen? Am I this enough, that enough, etc.? Like, don't do that to yourself. What I'm seeing here for many of you, it might be time to try a different path altogether. So some of you are deciding to get training or to go back to school. Yes, it's a perfect time for that. Some of you may be deciding to move or radically change your approach. Yes. The only way through is to go through the energy of change. So you could decide to, repackage skills and explore this instead. And you're never too old or too young to do that. So changing your mind, changing your approach, changing your trajectory is good. Tapping into existing friends and networks is the key to success. But that being said, there is an opportunity that you're not focusing on. It feels like it's in the past for here. So there's something that you might not have revisited. So if it didn't work before, this is a time where it's a chance for you to re-explore that path. So try again. And basically we see this time it will be something that will work out. So if there was something where you thought, I really, really want that, but it was either too soon or too late, or you didn't have enough experience or whatever, revisit it now. It feels like you might be better poised for that. The time marker here is with 1. It could take 1 month or 1 week, but a little bit of time, but not too much here with the Ace of Wands. Show what you've got. So with the show and tell energy, really pay attention to, for those of you that do have like a portfolio or a website, put a little bit of extra pizzazz and polish on that. I know nowadays most things are just ingested by AI, but when you get to the point that there is a meeting or face-to-face, really make sure that whatever you're showing them visually, including the way you present yourself, has character, has class, and is concise, particularly when it comes to visual presentation. Organization is key. You don't want things all over the place. Can and will you find it? Yes, but a move might be necessary. If at first you don't succeed, don't take it too personally. Keep trying. It could take 3 or 4 attempts, especially with the 4 of Cups. And it's who you know, which has been a common theme over the past, it feels like quarter of the year. But who you know can kind of help open up that door, because I did see a person with a key. So use tools like LinkedIn to see how many steps away you are from someone and try to get an introduction if you can. Okay, for students, it is a wonderful time to be a student because 8 of Pentacles came through representing you. Here's the things that are kind of challenging. We talked about family stress, and we also talked about trying to kind of carry the load on your own. I think it's time to talk to someone if you feel overwhelmed, because I definitely get that feeling here. You're in the right trajectory, but something doesn't feel right for you. So if you need to restructure your path, go for it. Maybe changing minor, maybe kind of like taking credits and applying it to a new major, possibly transferring schools. The Tower is a big change, but sometimes it's even just making a small sort of shift that creates that big sense of relief. So that's what I'm looking at there. But I like this. This shows me that you can manage it. It's just a little bit of paperwork that you might not want to do. For everyone else, just don't burn out. That's the main thing here. So take a step back, take a day. Just sometimes you have to do what I did and just sort of like pull back for a week and say, I can't do as much as I used to do. I'll get back there, but it's not going to happen right now. Okay? As we look at retirees, I think many of you want to kind of go into a hermit phase here, because this is a lot of expectation, a lot of sort of energy of, again, people that you know pushing you a little bit. This is you feeling like, I just need some time to myself. Take a moment to decide what you want to do with this next chapter in your life. This is saying the sky is the limit. Don't engage with things like I can't, or it won't, or this will never. Instead think, how can I? Why can't I? And then start to think, I can. This is how I'm going to do it. So we really need you to turn the questions around into the affirmative and go into the I can, I will, I am instead. Things that are calling to you. 10 of Wands is travel. So in all sort of aspects of work, travel can help. Some of you may want it, some of you may need less of it, but we're looking at travel as being a pivotal piece. And I think for many of you, you don't have to go anywhere to kind of travel into your imagination. So this could be painting, writing, exploring something creative, doing it just because. So if you want to take a new class, to meet new people, or to experience something new, yes. And if you want to travel a little bit, yes. Finances seem to be stressing everybody out. I think it's important to talk about this. So in existing jobs, when you're a student, when you're looking for jobs, talk about the financial aspect and get your head around that. Make sure that you're being supported and rewarded in the ways that you need to be. Let's move on to love and relationships. So we have a walrus energy coming through here, and it was reversed. So we see support, friendship, and compliance. In the reverse, we're going to look at the opposite of these. So for some of you, instead of lending support, you're asking for it. Instead of being a friend, you're receiving friendship, you're welcoming it in, and instead of complying, you're going to be a little bit rebellious. You're going to be the agent of change. You're going to shake the tree a little bit. Interesting that I use that phrase since we have the 10 of Wands at the center. This is a time to set your own tone and to use your voice in whatever way you think you need to. All right, we're going to look at this also in 3 different aspects. We're going to look at those that are in a relationship, looking for love, and those that are single and happy. All right, let's begin for those that are already in a relationship. Change. The Tower doesn't have to be bad, by the way. The Tower can be something really positive. This can be the birth of a child. This can be just getting married. This can also be a change of location. So you could be moving in with the partner and you're kind of like trying to figure out, what do we keep? What do we merge? All of that. And so this is trying to find, again, order in chaos and trying not to get upset, because this lightning bolt here and the thunder can represent an argument. This can be an argument too. We want to avoid going to that place of, judgment or anger. Instead, we're going to find the friendship and say, let's figure this out. We'll sort it out. This doesn't have to all be solved in a day. And that's one thing that can really help. Always sleep on it if you can. All right, let's look at some other things going on here. I love that we have the Ace of Wands in a love reading because this is passion. So when it comes to the physical side, many of you are feeling maybe a little bit more passion and connection than you have before, or you're getting interested in maybe reconnecting with your partner. And the challenge could be travel and distance. The other challenge could be stress and stress management. So I see a desire to connect intimately. And again, intimacy is not just physical. It can also just be spending time with the partner. So we need to overcome things like work stress, family stress, and maybe even things going on with health. And if that's going on right now, then I think it's really important for you to be the friend. You don't have to fix everything, but be a friend to your partner. One thing that I didn't mention in health, but it's coming through now, is this can be a brush with death, a challenge that you've overcome, but it changes everything and it changes your priorities a bit. And now you're looking at life from a different perspective. So maybe trying to bring the partner along that journey, it can be both a challenge and an opportunity. You can learn together, but what you don't want to do is step into the role of being a parent or teacher to your partner. So friendship, intimacy, and communication are going to be so important. Money is a stress for some of you. Health could be a stress, and work can be a stress. Typical things that I would expect, but they're a little bit amplified this month. The thing that really brings this to the boiling point is too much change too quickly, too much stress outside of the relationship, and basically an argument. So if you can manage those things by just communicating, taking a deep breath, and remembering this is your friend and your lover, you'll be all right. This seems like it's going to sort itself out. And especially coming together, some of you might even be sort of like forced to move together because of some financial stuff, but figuring out how to create some boundaries and find a happy medium, that's the big challenge this month. There could be a birth of a new child. This could just also be the growing pains of stepping into a partnership after being single for a long time or after being on the rebound. There are some complications, but folks, it ends with one of the best possible cards. As long as you can bring it back to this is my friend and my lover sort of energy, you're okay. Don't villainize, is that a word? Don't put the energy of being the villain or kind of like binary. It's either this or the highway. That's not good, because that's what this card can represent, is making someone pack up and leave or having them sleep on the couch. We have to kind of get into communicative energy. Okay, I do think it's manageable, but you're managing change this month, and you're remembering to speak to what it is that you need, to be an agent of necessary change, and to lean into the energy of friendship when and if possible, and to receive support if the partner wants to offer it. It's a lot to unpack, but I feel like you can exit this in a good way if you want to. All right, if you're looking for love, it's a month where I really feel like you've got to get your head on straight first. Can you find it? Yes, yes, yes. It starts as friendship, though, and then it can sort of like blend into love. Here's what you have to clean up first. Maybe your house, maybe your finances, maybe just your mental real estate, like your head space is a little bit crowded. Do the internal auditing and cleaning up first. Stress management and health also need to be sorted out. Take a break. Focus on you. Once you do that, here's what you're bringing in. Past life energy. Someone who's really ready to either settle into friendship or love quickly. They want to progress. So that's why you want to get into that energy of being sorted out. So if you're ready for commitment this month, you can get it. You'll know immediately. The passion's either there or it isn't. They're either going to go into the lovers category or into best friend forever category. There's not a lot of in between. And if you don't feel it, don't do it this month. That's my takeaway on that. Once you sort out all of this other stuff, you'll be fine. Now, for those of you that are single and happy, good for you. I feel some of you have been through a lot, and you've earned this moment to be single and happy. Education, creative endeavors, and making new friends. That's what the focal point is. Really, this final card is everything this month. I said I saw someone coming in, and it felt more friend-like to me than love-like. So this could be, a new bestie. This could be an ally, a colleague, someone that can open a door for you. No matter how you look at it, it's pretty good. This is a nice segue into Destiny. And this is the most powerful Destiny card I could pull. So we have basically less of a focus on the Reaper, more on its instrument, the Scythe. And this is basically you reaping the rewards of this work that you've done on yourself, overcoming or being an agent of change, coming back from a near miss, or deciding to reinvent, completing something and saying, I want to do this next. This is some good stuff. So what do you want to do? This energy of death and rebirth, which is comprised in the Scythe, is basically saying, once you know, you can start to open up to the signs, the signals, and the synchronicities that are already around you, okay? Let's now take this a little deeper into Sun, Rising, and Moon and see what else is coming through for you. Put that card over here so we have some space. Sun, Rising, and Moon. As we take a look here at the Sun sign, we have the Four of Swords coming through. It is in the reverse state, so for many of you, things are moving with such speed right now that you might have a hard time catching your breath. So the first message is to basically give yourself the break that you need, and I feel like I've been saying that a lot. This particular Four of Swords has someone all tied up in their thoughts, tied up in the anxiety that often is a part of the Ten of Swords. So what you're going to do is unwind mentally and energetically. You're going to create spaces in your schedule, spaces in your mind and in your physical environment as well, to allow for things to come through. I feel like your agenda, your schedule, your energy is just too sort of like tightly packed right now. So getting both the quality of sleep and the quantity of sleep that you need, and giving yourself time to recalibrate. All of that is a necessary piece. The final component in the card here that we see, the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, is putting something to rest. This can be just finally deciding, let that be. Let that vendetta that I had, let that fear that I had, that anxiety, let it go. Whatever it is, it no longer holds time or space or energy around you. You've got better things to work on. You're going to take that instead and use your time and energy as an ace. Take that Ace of Swords and use the action, the attention toward a goal or an aspiration or a dream. So get enough rest, put something to rest, and then take the necessary action. That's all the energy here for the Sun sign. As we take a look at Rising, it's so beautiful. We have the Six of Wands, folks. This is basically success. So suffice it to say, you're on the right track here. And even if, or especially if, things are exiting, there's room for something bigger, better, and brighter. Sometimes you have to lead the charge. It can be lonely when you're at the top or when you are kind of on the bleeding edge. And this Six of Wands is saying, don't kind of get into your headspace. Don't freak out if you don't get immediate confirmation or validation that it's okay. Keep working hard, and all of the stuff that's coming through with the Eight of Pentacles here, that attention to detail is going to pay off in the long run. And one of the keys to success is going to be partnership. Someone may be able to connect you with something that could really foster this success energy in the Six of Wands. Getting things moving, taking the necessary step, moving yourself as well, physically, all of this could help you with the Six of Wands. So suffice it to say, especially since this area can comprise work, it's going to be a good month financially. And what we're seeing here is a change in that financial sort of stream of resources and opportunity, and that nicely connects with everything that I was talking about earlier. Now, taking a look at Moon, we also have a really successful card here. Eight of Wands shows that you're going to be busy. It shows prosperity coming your way. And it shows that even here you are kind of stepping up as a leader. Just kind of keeping up with the flow and not sort of procrastinating. That's my main takeaway for this. Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing. This is very good for those of you that have your own business or those of you that are trying to start something or keep the action going. Just show up every day and be consistent. And by doing that, you really have a great chance of seeing things continue to move in the right direction. At this point, you have a chance to ask one last question. Anything that I haven't already covered, I'll give the cards a shuffle and we'll see what Spirit has to say. All right, we have the Two of Cups coming through in the reverse state, but this is still a card of partnership and friendship. So if you asked me a yes or no, it is a little bit more nuanced here. It would say yes, but only if you feel the connection. The Ace of Wands told us that earlier, but this is the same thing. This is particularly if it's friendship or love. If you feel the connection and the spark, go for it. If you don't, it may just be something that is more of a platonic opportunity. This is also you. Now we're going to speak to the broader energy. If you didn't ask a question or if you just wanted guidance, there's some more nuances here. One is to make sure that you speak to your own desires and needs. So some of you may be people pleasers or may really want external validation. Don't be afraid to let others know what you expect, what you need, what would make you happy, because you should be able to receive as well. We see two people head to head, heart to heart, connecting and saying, let's do this together. Finally, that's the important thing here, is you're not alone. We have the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Wands, and the 2 of Cups. People, 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 partnership across all of them. Some of the best partnership cards. Only thing missing from the equation is the Lovers. All of these constitute love to me. So I really appreciate what we're seeing with this. I think that sometimes it's just hard to let someone in, particularly if you're on a rebound or you had a bad experience in the past. So open yourself up to new experiences as well. Okay? Before we get into the sort of like housekeeping portion, there's Apollo right behind us, holding, again, space and just just taking it all in. I love that he gets this sort of free reading, and there we go. You can see him a little bit better. Let me see if I can get his attention before we wrap up. Hey, buddy. There we go. Get a little bit of his face, but he says, Dad, I'm not working, you are. So let me get back to what we were talking about here. First of all, if you enjoyed this, it's 100% free, but the way that you can show support is through subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, and leaving a comment. Let me know what kind of changes you're navigating. Let me know what's going on with your resources or what you connected with. I appreciate all these comments, and they really do help change and affect what I do on this channel. So please do speak up and let me know. All right, give me a follow on social media. Occasionally I do an impromptu like I did for the last lunar reading, and a great way to stay in the know is to make sure that you follow me on at least this platform and another one, and it's always my full name on all major platforms. You can go to my website if you need any official links. It's also on the main page here on YouTube. Just be mindful. Not this one, sorry. Be mindful that there are some imposters out there, and if anyone tries to message you or ask for something through chat, it's an immediate flag. You know that's not me. If you want to give back, it's optional, but you can do it through super stickers, super chat, and membership, and there are some perks with membership, so feel free to explore that and see if it's something that you'd like to do. And with that being said, again, lots of love from both Apollo and I. Thank you so much for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. I appreciate you. Take care. I'll see you soon. By the way, make sure to check out my daily and also my weekly videos if you enjoyed what you see here. Bye-bye.